Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. And today we're reviewing 3 new influencer activewear brands that were started kind of at the end of last year. Honestly, sometimes it feels like every influencer is starting a brand. And when we think about some of the brands that I review quite often on this channel, like Buff Bunny Collection, Alphalete, and even brands like Balance Athletica, those were all started by fitness influencers who started their own brand and built it into something. So it seems like something that everyone kind of wants to get into. So we have 3 very new brands today. We have Defining Active, Isla Movement, and Energy the Label. These were all started by 3 different influencers. We have Defining Fitness, or Stefana. Isla Movement was started by Susie from Susie KB is her Instagram handle, and Energy the Label is Shannon Henry's activewear brand. And all of the people who launched these brands, I would consider my friends, my peers, you know, my influencer peers, and I do really respect the effort that they put into these collections. But of course, I will always be brutally honest, especially because these are all of their first collections, and I definitely feel like no one's perfect on their first launch, so I'll be giving as much feedback and like constructive criticism as possible. And I really feel like there's going to be more good things to come from these brands. I had reviewed all of these collections just on Instagram stories because I didn't get a ton of pieces from each of them, but since they all kind of launched around the same time last year, I figured why not put them all together in one video. So without further ado, let's start talking about them. So first brand I want to talk about is Defining Active. This is Stefana's brand, or you probably know her as Defining Fitness. I think she did a poll in her story the other day where like 60 or 70% of her followers didn't even know her first name, which is a danger of not having your first name as your Instagram handle, I feel like, because there's definitely some people I followed in the past that I was like, I don't know your first name because it's not in their handle. Anyways, she launched her Ignite collection in December of 2021. So I believe the leggings are $60 and the tops are around $36 to $38. So I'd give them about like a mid price range, maybe mid to high. None of the brands today I would truly put in the affordable category. And something I like about Defining Active is I feel like she kind of focused on making at least the tops like for the gym or for lifestyle, so you can kind of get like dual purpose out of them. So I got 1 top and 1 pair of leggings. She also had this really cute like Dalmatian print, which is kind of like a white fabric with black like Dalmatian spots. So first we have the top. I have a size small and it has this really cute ruched detailing. This reminded me a lot of the TLF collection ruched sports bra. You guys asked me to review TLF a lot and I did review them in a Love It or Leave It, but to be honest, I really didn't like any of their stuff, and their bra that kind of looked similar to this ran like 2 sizes too small. Like I couldn't even get the small one on. This is much more true to size. It's made of a soft brush material, 75% polyester, 25% spandex. The material definitely will collect a little bit of lint and fur, but any brushed fabric does. The top has removable cut pads, but they are kind of like confined to one area. So the cut pad can't slip all the way down into this region. So it's kind of like a long line sports bra crop top type thing. And I think my main point of feedback for the entire collection is just that the logoing is just way too big and bold, and it makes the items feel a little more cheap. Like I actually feel like the quality of everything was really nice, but the logoing definitely kind of gave cheap vibes. And I did see on her story that she did a poll about like feedback, and that was the #1 thing for feedback. So I do think that there are changes to come in terms of the logoing. So let's try the top on. Okay, so here's the top, and I just feel like the style is so cute. I love the little ruche detailing. I feel like it definitely has some potential, you know, to like amp the girls up a little bit if you do want to wear this as a lifestyle piece. So in general, I just feel like it's really flattering. Definitely more of a long line crop top than like a bra. I think I saw that she tucked it under sometimes. I don't know. I mean, I just don't like tucking bras under in general. So I feel like this length is the way that I would wear it. This is a size small and I feel like it runs like a little bit big. I think I could actually do an extra small just because you can see in this size, I get a lot of gaping around here. And I feel like I would like to be a little more just compressed and supported in this region. It actually feels okay down here, but I'm not super snug and tight everywhere. So I think it runs about a size big. And then here's the back. It's very plain. I just feel like the logo kind of gets in the way of it, but I feel like she did a great job with this top. Honestly, I don't really have any complaints other than the sizing. And the fabric is really soft. I didn't find any loose strings. So all the construction seemed really good on this. And then the leggings. So she only had 1 style of leggings launch. She had a pair of leggings and then some shorts. And when I first saw her on like, you know, TikToks and whatever, trying these leggings on, I thought they were going to be a sleek performance material and they kind of looked like they'd be slippery, but they're actually a really nice soft brush material, and it has no front seam, which is very important to me. I am not a big front seam person. The waistband kind of dips down a little bit in the front, which I also like because I find that flat across waistbands, they're just, I mean, they're still flattering, but they're not doing anything, you know? Slightly tapered waistband, no band at the top, and they have very, very curved glute seams in the back. For For me, I felt like the curved seams were just like a little too curved, because once they're like super curved like this, I feel like they kind of just go over your glutes too much, and if they're a little less, they kind of contour the glutes a little better, but we'll see when it's on. And then the logo, again, is just a little too big for me. And extended crotch gusset that goes all the way down the leg. All right, so here are the leggings. Nice high rise. They don't cut in because there's no band at the top, and I just like kind of the subtle curving down here. I just feel like it gives you a little extra lower tummy control, and just overall makes the leggings look a little more flattering. I feel like the gusset sits a little far forward. For me, I feel like it's less of a big deal when the gusset is extended, but I still would like it to sit just like a teeny bit further back, but it's not the worst I've seen. And then here's the back. Very exaggerated glute seams. It does sit above my hips, so it doesn't cut off the glutes. I'm gonna give these medium to high on the booty scale. They definitely don't squish down. Very stretchy. And you could probably situate them to be even a little more flattering, but if you pull them up too much, it's almost too high. And I think you can see what I mean by too much of a curve around the glutes. Definitely not arguing, because I much prefer this than straight across, but just thought I would mention. They're also more of an ankle length on me. Most leggings, when they only come out with one size, are usually like 25, 26 inch inseam, so they're usually a little short on me. Very stretchy, definitely no restrictions. About a light to medium compression, and definitely true to size. If you're in between, you can definitely do either way, but I might go with the size down just because they're so stretchy. And I wouldn't expect a lot of cellulite coverage with these, just because they're kind of on the thinner side. The print would have probably been better for cellulite. The next new brand to review is Isla Movement, and this is Susie KB's activewear brand. So I definitely have the most pieces from her collection, and something unique about her collection is it is all made in Los Angeles. So for anyone who prefers to buy from companies who do make their products in the US, it is all US made. The prices are definitely up there. I would say high price point at like $76 for leggings, around $50 for bras, but I don't think it's really much more than some other brands like, you know, Balance, Alpha Elite, Buff Bunny. I think it's honestly pretty similar, and it is made in the USA, which is more expensive to produce. So I do feel like the high price points are a little more justified, but again, it's still not going to be in everyone's price point. So this launched in October 2021, and I believe she has done a couple restocks since. I don't know if she has changed anything, but let's start talking about some of the pieces. So first we have this cute little square neck bra. I think this is my favorite fabric that they came out with, and this one is a super soft, like brushed marled material. Here is a close-up of this fabric, super soft and brushed, very similar to the Petula Bear fabric or like Aloe Yoga Space Dye, that kind of thing, which is always a fabric I love. It's not the most durable of fabrics, so you could get some pilling and definitely lint collection and all that, but it just is very soft. So we have a square neckline here, an elastic band at the bottom, and then the straps come in at the back and kind of go over the band to create like this little detailing. One thing I wish that she changed about this top was that there's no seam to prevent the cup pads from kind of like moving every which way. And when you put it on, they do stay put, but I still find that the cup pads can move around, especially when like storing and hanging things up, and it's just easier to not have to constantly be moving the cup pads around, so I wish they had that. All right, so here's the bra. It doesn't look like a lot of coverage at first, but it actually is pretty good. I think because this is such a light pink, you might be able to see the cup pads through it, but it's kind of hard with really light colored bras. So I'm not spilling out of this bra, which I really like. Some square neck bras I do tend to spill out of, and I have worn this to the gym and it did hold up for me. I love the square neckline, and I feel like it goes the perfect amount into my armpits to where it's not like cutting in, but I don't actually have any side boob spillage. Not the most support, definitely more of like a light to medium, but with this soft of a fabric, it's just so stretchy that it's not really gonna provide too much support. The band at the bottom feels nice and secure. Definitely true to size, and the back is really simple and cute. I think really the only thing I would fix with this bra is just that little seam for the cup pads, but everything else I think actually worked out really well. I think it would look flattering on a variety of cup sizes, and the material is really soft. Second piece in the same fabric as the bra, just a different color, is this beautiful top. So it's a long sleeve crop top, and it has this like keyhole cutout detailing in the front, long sleeves, and then the back is completely open, so it pairs really nicely over that last bra, and it shows like all of the details. So let's try this one on. Okay, here's the top. Just such a soft fabric, and I really like how long this goes down. It goes down like several inches below your actual bra band, so I feel like a decent amount of coverage for a long sleeve crop top. Very stretchy, very soft. You do get this little keyhole detail, which sometimes kind of disappears for me when it tucks under the bust, but you still get a little bit. And for the bra I'm wearing underneath it, it does peek through. Stays put pretty well when I lift up my arms. The sleeves are also a good length for me. Then you have the super open back, which is really good for showing off some sports bra detailing. So I'm also a big fan of this top. And in the first launch, she had 2 different pairs of leggings. She had these ones, which were more performance, and then she had the Susie leggings, which were made of the marled brush material. And I think I would have preferred those. They were just like a little softer. I think they had no front seam, but I did get the performance leggings, and there definitely are some things I would fix about this one. First of all, I'm not like the biggest on performance materials, but I know that people do like them, so it's not really a negative. So here's the material, definitely a sleek performance. Way more durable than the other fabric, but I just prefer softer fabrics in general. There is a band at the top of this one, which can help leggings stay up, but I just prefer when there's no little top band. Pretty short little cross waist situation going on here, and these do have a front seam. There's also no crotch gusset, which definitely surprised me. I have tried some leggings that don't have a crotch gusset in the past where I get some problems. I feel like these didn't cause me a lot of problems, but I would like to see a crotch gusset in the future, and I think she did say that she was working on it. And the seams in the back are just flat across. I like a little enhancement for the glutes. Doesn't have to be as enhanced as like the defining active leggings, but just a little something. So let's try these ones on. All right, so here are the leggings. They have a crossed waist, and they do dip down slightly in the front, which I feel like you kind of need to have that on a cross-waist legging or else it looks kind of weird. It could be a little more high-rise, but I feel like it still does come up a good amount on the sides without me having to pull it up too much. And there is the band at the top. I don't really feel like it's causing too many problems, but there's definitely some potential. And then again, there is the front seam. There is some potential for it to cause camel as well. I don't think it's too bad because this fabric is, I don't know, thick and compressive to the point where I feel like it's not letting the seam go up too much, but it's definitely a possibility. And I believe that these ones are like a 25-inch inseam, so they definitely are very ankle length on me. Overall, I'd give these medium to high compression. I didn't really have trouble getting them on, but they are definitely more on the compressive side. The seams go above the glutes, so I'm still gonna give them a medium on the booty scale, but I don't really think they're doing anything to enhance. I just do appreciate that the seam goes above and doesn't cut me off. The seams get a little bit tight down here, but they feel pretty sturdy. Overall, performance leggings just aren't my go-to, and I would do without the front seam. I feel like this is a good place to start. Definitely not like on my high list of leggings I'd recommend, just because there are quite a few things I would fix, but I know that she's working on making changes. So I have 2 pieces left from Isla. This is a sports bra in the fantasy print, so she had this nice little like pink, almost kind of floral, not quite tie-dye print, but it is made of a sleek performance material, so it's not brushed like the other ones. This one, the cup pads again are not sewn into place, or they don't have that separation, so the cup pads can kind of move around. Just a plain scoop neck. It is a long line. There's no true elastic in this one, so I feel like you get maybe a little less support, and then just a racer back in the back. All right, so here's this bra. Definitely more coverage than the last one. Nice long line. This is true to size. This is a size small, and I feel like it fits well. If anything, it was like a little snug, but since there's no elastic, you want it to be snug or else there won't be any support. I definitely feel like the cup pads on this one, since it is like more space up here, kind of moved around, and I definitely had to like situate them a little more than most bras when putting it on because there's no seams to keep the cup pads in place. A little scooped around the armpit, so some potential for side boob, but I don't really think it's really bad. And support, this one's more of like a medium support. I definitely feel a little more held in. Scoop neck, but no cleavage, so I would say I would give it a full coverage. Something about the sleek performance material and no elastic, so I don't know, something about this combination I feel like just isn't making for my favorite sports bra. I just preferred the other one. I felt a little more secure, even though this one has more coverage. I just feel like I have the potential for like some looseness or gaping in certain places, so this wouldn't be my top choice. And last piece, we have this little like windbreaker pullover thing, which has like a good amount of weight to it for a windbreaker. To be honest, like I feel like I have a lot of windbreakers now just because I get sent them and I just don't wear them all that often. Like maybe it's just because I live in a really warm place, but someone let me know, are windbreakers like more of a thing? Maybe they wear windbreakers more. Super cute, and I totally would wear it. I just feel like I don't have the use for it quite as much. So it is cropped with a little elastic situation at the bottom. So these buttons you can open up for a little extra like ventilation back there, and I really like how she had her logo inside the little button detailing. So I felt like this was a really cute piece with a lot of details. Okay, so here's the windbreaker. If I was wearing just like a straight across pair of high-rise leggings, I feel like I would have less skin showing, but it definitely is cropped. So this is a size small, and I think it's Definitely a little bit oversized. It's not like tight against my waist, which I appreciate. I like to have a little room in my jackets, but I still think this little like ruche detailing at the end is cute. We have the quarter zip detailing, and I just think this print is really pretty. She also has it in like a darker color as well, because this one is pretty bold. I like the sleeve length on this one. Oh, pins. Oh, buddy, you have to make an appearance. I feel like I've been slacking on the cat appearances, so Pinto, say hello. Everyone loves how cute you are. Everyone loves it. The sleeve length is good for me. When I stretch my arms, it's a little shorter, but just standing, it's good. And then I think the detailing in the back with the buttons is super cute. This isn't like my most wearable piece, like I was saying, just because I don't really know exactly where I'd wear it, but I should honestly make an effort to try to wear this to the gym because it is really cute. And here's the inside fabric. It's actually pretty soft. I know sometimes windbreakers are lined with a mesh. This is actually like a somewhat stretchy, soft material. And the last brand today is Energy the Label. This is Shannon Henry's line and also launched in October 2021. And she launched 2 sets, and I feel like they both really like made sense for Shannon because first of all, she loves animal print. So we have this little animal print active set, and she also loves a good like gray sweatpant outfit. So we also have that. I'll start with the activewear. So it's all made of a pretty thick, sleek performance material. Think like sleek and compressive. Seamless waistband, no front seam. I do wear a small in the leggings and I find them to be true to size. Extended crotch gusset, and then the seams on the back are just kind of slightly tapered. It's hard to see with the animal print. But you can see the seams aren't like too curved, but they definitely taper around the glutes. I love that there's no front seam. I feel like the gusset placement on this one is pretty good. It's not too visible from the front. Definitely gonna get cellulite coverage in this one because prints do a really good job at that. The seams do go above the glutes. I'm just gonna give these maybe medium on the booty scale because I do like the seams, but I don't feel like they're doing a ton to enhance. And this fabric just gets a little compressive. I give it like a medium to high compression. And I do worry about these sliding down a little bit just because the fabric is so slippery and there's no band or anything. It's just really hard to do performance leggings that don't slide down at all. So I feel like these definitely could slide down a little bit. And these are also about a 7/8 length on me. Overall, I like these. They're just not my favorite material. Still pretty stretchy there. And then the top, I did size down to an extra small because I heard they ran a little bit big. And it's the same sleek performance material, long line sports bra, no true elastic in here. There is that seam to prevent the cup pads from moving around, and just a pretty simple scoop in the front and then crisscross in the back. So here's the bra, and I kind of understand why she recommended a size down in the bra because like the Isla Movement bra, it's a performance material long line with no true elastic in it. So you need to be a little bit compressed if you want any sort of support. So I get that, but for me, it was still like a little bit tight and I feel like I'm kind of being squished out of some places. So I don't feel like it was a perfect fit for me. Again, I just don't really love performance fabrics in a long line form. I feel like they really need that elastic on the bottom. So for the top, I'd say true to size. If you're in between, definitely size down. In terms of support, I'm gonna go with a medium. Also medium coverage, but I'm just kind of spilling out of it a little bit. So I feel like that might change depending on your cup size. Scoop neck here, and yeah, definitely a long line, but definitely still gonna show some skin here, and then the crisscross straps in the back. So I guess my theme of the video is just I don't love the performance material bras like this, but. And then the sweat set, so I did get a size small in both of these, and I definitely think they're like an oversized fit. Just a classic pair of like cotton fleece sweatpants, thick elastic waist. They are high rise, they have a drawstring, and they do have this like cloth terry lining and not a fuzzy brushed fleece, which was to my disappointment a little bit, but Shannon did mention she wanted these to be a kind of sweatpant that you could wear year round, and sometimes she finds the fuzzy fleece lining to just be a little too warm if you ever want to wear sweatpants like in the like late spring, early fall kind of thing. So I get it. I just do personally like the fuzziness because I don't know, I just like things to be soft against my skin. Okay, so here are the sweatpants, and these are in a size small, and I feel like they're pretty good on the waist. Like I like that they're not too baggy around here, just a little bit of space, and I can still tie the drawstring, but there's definitely a lot of room everywhere else. I think these were meant to be kind of a baggy, oversized fit. I don't really feel like my booty is really filling these out quite enough. I definitely have some space, so I think you could definitely size down in the joggers and still have them be an oversized fit, but I definitely wouldn't size up because these are already pretty big. They're still soft even though they're not brushed on the inside, and they have a nice long inseam, so they're actually a full length on me. But yeah, they're very simple. I like the length. They just might be like maybe a tad big for me. The top is this kind of quarter zip situation. So we have a quarter zip here. It's also cropped, but it's not like super cropped where you're gonna show a lot of skin. And this also has the cloth terry lining. Okay, so here's the top. And as you can see, when you wear it with the joggers are high rise enough and the top is long enough that you don't actually show any skin. But what I like about it is sometimes when I have a full length sweatshirt with joggers, it just gets very bulky. So I like that this kind of ends right where the joggers start. There's a little ring zipper here and kind of goes up to a turtleneck, which I actually prefer necklines like this than hoods. I just don't really wear hoods all that much, but you can still kind of zip it down and flare the collar out a little bit. Sleeve length is good. Again, this is definitely oversized, so I think you could probably size down, but I wouldn't size up because it's still oversized. Then she added like a little drawstring cord, so when it's loose, it kind of looks like this, and you can tighten it up to give you like kind of more of a little cinched waist effect. So I feel like the sweat side is really cute. My only thing is I would just prefer a size down and the brushed on the inside, but otherwise I think she did a really good job. Okay guys, that is it for the video. Make sure to leave in the comments down below if you've tried any of these brands and what your thoughts were. And if you've seen any other brands that I need to try, let me know about those as well. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!